Are we live? Are we live? Oh, there we go. Live on the NBA DFS Preview Show, WinDailySports.com. That man you see tapping his microphone is on fire. You're still on a heater, right? Like you can't stop, won't stop, can't stop. You can't stop.
We're not leaving the table.
Nobody.
Leaving the table anytime soon.
He's Steph Curry, ladies and gentlemen. That's who he is. He's the Steph Curry of NBA DFS, right? Is that fair to say? I mean, the only one who's maybe more in a heater than Ghost is Steph Curry. Woo! Man, you are killing it again last night. And I'm mostly just speaking of your sports betting picks, but I mean, your DFS picks have been on fire too.
I'm pumped. I don't know if they would run good, man. Just run good. I'm not changing anything, keeping the same process. Ton of bets up on the site, WinDailySports.com. Make sure you guys go and check that out.
A post-game press conference.
I'm not changing anything, right? Man.
Are you the MVP? Are you the MVP of NBA DFS?
Steph Curry's the MVP. You saw his tweet too, in a report to be. You knew I was going to mention it. I literally tagged you in it.
Yes,
for our show. You knew I was going to mention it.
Now, are you going to be, if I ask you, are you the NBA MVP of DFS? Are you going to be out front? Are you going to be like as vocal about it as Curry has been about the MVP or Ben Simmons about the Defensive Player of the Year? Okay. Right.
No, that's not the way I am.
No. You're more of a reserve. You're more of a reserved guy.
Yeah, I let the picks do the talking. You know, people end up, you know, if they win, they'll know. You know, it's it's not even if it with the past couple of weeks, it's more like when, you know what I mean? So,
man, I don't know if like if you were a former athlete in your past life, but you have like the coach speaks type stuff down. You know, it's great.
It's amazing. I was actually supposed to go to the States to continue playing hockey, but I broke my back.
Whoa. Hockey.
Yeah. So yeah.
Whoa.
Well, hockey's big up here, obviously. That one was
in
pretty
Canada?
obvious. That one was pretty obvious
because
so
they don't really win a lot. So
yeah.
That went too far, didn't it?
I don't know about that one. But that went a little too far. I was supposed to go, and I broke my back, so I couldn't go.
Damn, where were you gonna go? What?
Am I allowed to name the school? Like, no, nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows.
You have never talked about this.
No, not really.
Where are you gonna go?
Am I allowed to say the school? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, you could say.
Can I say the school?
Mike Trout was about to go to East Carolina and play baseball. Yeah. You can say whatever you want.
I had signed to go to Exeter. I was gonna go there.
Where?
Phillips Exeter Academy.
I don't know.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go play there.
What state? Is it near Maine?
I want to say Connecticut.
Oh,
I want to say it's in that area.
Yeah, Connecticut's great.
I think it's there. And then
you think? I don't know. I was just gonna move somewhere.
I don't even know. I was just gonna go
around
there.
This place. Yeah.
At the time, it was rated the top school in the nation. So I was like, hey, this is a no-brainer. Okay. You know, like this is the spot that I want to be. I went to visit the campus. It was really nice.
Nice.
Obviously, it's nice. Obviously, it was nice. And then and then just injuries happen. That's what sports do. It's just it is what it is. But yeah, that's why when you say I have that demeanor,
you do have the athlete.
It kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense.
It all does. By the way, we already have one question, and it's a good one. Can you play 5 Stephs tonight?
Yeah. I think you can fit 4 though. I think he's 10.5, so I only need 4 of them. So $50K on DraftKings. Yeah, just the math adds. Double check that math, but I'm pretty sure the math adds up. You can only fit 4. You can't fit 5.
So last time I checked, though, it's a day ending in Y.
I'm pretty sure.
I think is it automatic now? Just like you can't stop. Like you're on a roll, and obviously we need to start telling you, like, just don't stop. We can't just now fade you. You're on fire. I mean, is it at the point now where it's just you either have to play Steph or you're at a disadvantage?
Yeah, and I have 5 bets on in this game too. 5 out of 6 that I posted are in this game, so I'm double dipping the chip tonight. Double dip the chip tonight. I am. I'm shipping it on this game. I will know exactly how I'm doing. Roughly 8 p.m. Eastern time, when it's probably going to be close to halftime.
5 bets in this game?
Yeah, 5 in this one alone. So I have 6 total, but 5 out of 6 are in this game.
I mean, these two? Is that where we're starting?
Like, that's
Is there enough? I guess because there's enough games. Are there enough scrubs in this lineup?
Oh my gosh,
or
there are so many. I didn't even know.
Right,
I didn't even know. There are so many options. I didn't even know which ones to pick. Like there's so many options. That
it's easy. We can put these two in there, lock them, no doubt about it, and then easily be able to find other places, value places to make this work.
You could actually get Kyrie or Towns with them too.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
which one would you prefer though? Would you might as well take at least a little bit, like a 500 discount with Kyrie? Just to
shooting guard's pretty bad, so probably Kyrie, just because of position scarcity. But you could go Bradley Beal. You could go Bradley Beal as well and just full on stock that one.
So you're basically stacking this game. I mean, just not a side in that game. You are stacking this game right here.
Yeah. So I got the total at 238 or 238.5. I forget what I grabbed it at. It's now up to 242. So a little 4-point movement there in our favor. I like it, and that's why I try and post the bets as early as possible. When I have a strong lean on something, I try and post it as soon as possible. 4-point movement in that game. So I like it. The way that Steph is playing, the way that Russ is playing, Bradley Beal's taking 25 shots a game in his past 5. You can't get away from this game. You just can't. The way that Steph is playing. Washington's 22nd defensive rating, 28th, and they're bottom 5 in every single defensive statistic, and they play at the fastest pace in the entire league. So this is a spot where Draymond can run the 5 and just do his thing out there, dishing the rock to Steph when he ends up getting open. If that's the case where they want to play Steph off ball every now and then, they have the luxury of doing that because Washington just doesn't care who's playing at center. It's likely going to be Daniel Gafford for the majority of the night there. So I love this game. I can't get away from it. Golden State, I'm playing Steph, and that's it. You can play Draymond as well. If you want a pizza bet money for the night, this is what does Mike call it? The couch change? What does he call that?
Couch change.
Couch change.
So I call it cushion change because when you look under the cushion, you maybe find a dime or two, and there you go.
That's easier to say too. So the cushion change bet of the night. Draymond Green triple-double plus 1,000 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
He's got to score 10 points, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that that's when you're in good hands. When you know that you need the points out of every single statistic, you need the points for somebody to hit a triple-double. I'll take that bet. But that's the cushion change one. It's not one of my top 6 ones. I didn't put it on the site for a reason. That's just like a hey, I have $5 kind of thing. Let me just put that on there. Sure. So Draymond Green plus 1,000 triple-double. So I'm okay with Draymond.
We do have a lineup question, but I like waiting for those kind of at the end. But this one isn't. This one kind of is getting started on our kind of scrubs and value players we can get in. Poku and Looney or Tillman and Blake Griffin. This one's asked by Derek. Just trying to find those value players. I mean, you could probably go with all 4 of them, but what do you think about that question?
I like the Tillman side better, but not Blake Griffin. I'm going to touch on Blake Griffin a little bit when we go over that Brooklyn game. I'm pretty sure it's next, actually. So we might as well just dive right into that one.
Yeah, actually, let's dive into it right now. Yep.
So sure. Brooklyn's on the second half of a back-to-back. Shout out to all the people that were mad about Kyrie, by the way. Dropped a cool 32, 3 and 8, basically in the fourth quarter. So that's why you got to just trust the process. You never know when somebody could just erupt like that. When you're talking about a stud,
TTP, man, I love it.
Always, you have to when you're worried about a stud, you have to realize that guys of this magnitude can just they could turn it up in 5 to 6 possessions, and all of a sudden they're sitting on 15 points. And a lot of times, a lot of these studs that end up playing are 3-point shooters. On top of that, Steph needs all of maybe 3 minutes to get 15 points, raw points. And so it's just, for me, I'm never worried because it all of a sudden they flip the switch and it's go time for them. That's exactly what happened to Kyrie late in that game. So am I going right back to it here? I'm not sure yet. I'm definitely locking in Curry and Westbrook. But I don't know if Kyrie's going to be my third stud or not. The main thing here is that Harden and Durant are still out, and Toronto's not good enough to say, hey, Brooklyn can't stay in this game. It's a tight spread for a reason. It's the first time in forever that I see that Toronto has a healthy roster. Obviously, I watch every game, so it's the first time in who knows how long that Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam, and OG are all going to take the court together. For that reason, I'm not playing any of them because it's while it is a great matchup, who goes off? For me, it's just I don't want to take that risk when there's so much value available to us in the next 2 games that we're going to talk about. I don't feel the need to play the guessing game of whether it's going to be a Siakam night because Brooklyn blows in the paint. Is it going to be a Van Vliet night because he's pissed about his suspension and he's going to launch a ton of threes? Is it Lowry, who's, a triple-double candidate on a slate like this? Or is it OG that's just going to be racking up rebounds versus a smaller Brooklyn front court, right? So I'm staying away from the Raptors side. It is a great spot, but I'm not playing the guessing game of who goes off there. The value on Brooklyn is still there. Again, it's the exact same thing as yesterday. And one thing that I want to touch about on Blake Griffin is that, yes, he's active, but I don't know how much he's actually going to play in this one. It's a back-to-back. Lamarcus Aldridge just retired. Like these guys are on the back end of their careers, right? So they're not gonna run Blake Griffin 30 minutes, or I would be shocked if they did, right? So that's where a guy like Jeff Green and Elias Johnson will, that's where guys like that, TLC even, they'll end up getting roughly 15 to 20 minutes depending on who gets what run. But if you're playing anybody here, Landry Shamet has just been balling out lately. 6 straight games now. He's been going nuts. So I lean more towards Landry Shamet, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green on the value side if you want to go there. And Kyrie at the top is definitely a great option. Yeah,
those all seem great. And so I think you're right. We're just basically we're on this game mostly for Brooklyn, and anything with Toronto, you kind of lose all value now, right? Because they're healthy.
Yeah, like you don't really know which one of the guys you don't know who's going to lead the charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Like they can all do well. It's just, I'm paying 8,700 for Siakam. I want 55 to 60 DraftKings points. For him to do that, you're counting on Lowry barely scoring, OG barely scoring, Van Vliet barely scoring. Like it's not a position I want to put myself in, right? Like it's almost like when Harden, Durant, and Kyrie take the floor together for, maybe the third time this season. I don't know if I can play any of them because you don't know who's going to drop 40. Any single one of these guys could drop 40 on any given night. So it's like that's where, and I don't really want to take that risk, especially on such a big slate. I don't really feel the need to go to the Toronto side. It is a great spot if you want to get different, but if I have to give the edge to anybody here, I'll take the riskiest one of the bunch, and that's Pascal Siakam because he has the high ceiling on top of that, especially on the inside against Brooklyn.
I know you wanted to go to this OKC Pacers game as well, and I think with all of these now, as we're kind of going through, or at least the rest of them, like we already have our top plays, and we're trying to find value, and I imagine that's what we're trying to find here in this game.
Yeah, and it's on the Indiana side, so I'm not touching OKC with a 10-foot pole. If people want to play
fair,
Karis LeVert or Malcolm Brogdon, go ahead. I'm not playing them in this spot. If one of these guys is the one that drops 50 points, go ahead. This is a value game for me. So Jeremy Lamb is out. Goga is out. Doug McDermott is out. Domantas Sabonis is out. Miles Turner is out. Samson just got suspended.
Nice.
You're looking at so much value here in Sumner and Brissett as well. So both these guys are likely going to play over 25 minutes, especially Brissett. He's probably going to get close to 30 tonight. I don't even know if they have anybody active in the front court other than O'Shea Brissett, right? So he's a top value play on the Mauler right now at only 3,100. Looking at 30 minutes against Moses Brown, sign me up. He's 100% going to be in my main lineup. But again, that's the kind of risk that I take. I don't mind playing guys like this in single entry, but if you're playing the, anywhere, but I wouldn't include the $5 one in there because a lot of times it's like 3,000 people. You could dabble in a guy like Edmund Summer or Brissett, but if you're playing these 27 to I'll go up to $100, $250 single entries. That's where you're taking a big risk in playing guys like this, right? So these 3K punts, they're not for every single type of contest, right? So I play them regardless, just because I like to take a risk and I trust them all 100%. But playing a guy like Dante Hall yesterday or Dedmon or any one of these guys, like that's a good and a bad example. Dante Hall didn't do well yesterday. Dwayne Dedmon absolutely crushed it, right? So that's where it's a big risk when you end up playing a lot of these guys, and you have to understand that you have to tailor your lineup not only to what you like on paper, but also to the type of contest that you're playing. So really important there. Edmund Summer and O'Shea Brissett, two guys that are that are really high on my radar right now.
Yeah, those guys high on your radar, and you can get more players that are on his radar, or at least see him right now. Windaily.com. windailysports.com, and check out the Ghost Gems article. I'll have that all up there, a little bit more of a guide if you want to see everything. Breakdown of the slate. Also, listen here, the NBA DFS Preview show. Also, go on the Discord chat, windailysports.com/chat. Ghost will be in there as well, helping you out with your lineup. So that game we're definitely going to try and find some value on. And I like how you're distinguishing it too, because I know sometimes we just look straight at game, but I like that you're going mainly just with Brooklyn and just with the Pacers there. So I like that we're distinguishing that and helping the people out there. But I think another game we're going straight to, Clippers and Memphis. And now, if anybody's wondering why we're going here, I think there's a lot of O's and Q's on this one to make it seem like, this could be a spot here to maybe get some more value play, right?
Yeah, so the Clippers have, I believe it's 9 active players or maybe 10.
That's not a lot. Yeah.
So that's where no PG, no Kawhi, no Reggie Jackson. And it would not surprise me in the least to see Marcus Morris either scratched or barely play in this one. Clippers are iconic for doing this, where they scratch Marcus Morris along with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, like right before tip or right after tip. So this is where you could turn to a trio of players that I have in my player pool right now in Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, and Yogi Farrell, believe it or not. So Yogi Farrell just signed
we're getting questions about Yogi Farrell.
So Yogi Farrell just signed a 10-day contract, and it's the depth that the Clippers need at a position that they're surprisingly depleted in, right? So no Reggie Jackson tonight, no Rajon Rondo as well. They don't really have a primary ball handler right now outside of Terrence Mann, and even at that, he's a baller, but you got to understand.
And he's got a great name too, Yogi Farrell.
Yeah, that too. But he can't be out there all 48 minutes, right? Somebody else has to handle the ball. So Yogi Farrell is going to get a ton of minutes in here. And when you look in the 2 games that he did play, it was a while back. But this is a spot where he signed that 10-day contract. Reggie Jackson, Rajon Rondo, Patrick Beverley all out. It's just a domino effect here where he falls into a great matchup on top of that against Ja Morant and Melton as well. So am I playing Yogi Farrell tonight? Well, if you look at our guard spot, or specifically our point guard spot, we already have Curry and Westbrook in there, which means I'm playing Yogi Farrell in the utility. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I always save my utility for last. So, but he is somebody that I do have on my radar. Luke Kennard is there, way too cheap for Luke Kennard. He's probably going to take 20 shots tonight. And on top of that, you have the luxury of having him both shooting guard and small forward eligible. So that's somebody that you could slot into your guard or forward spot, depending on how you build your lineups out there. If for some reason you're not playing Edmund Summer, then by all means you could play Luke Kennard in the small forward slot. Again, because I have Edmund Summer likely in my lineup, I'm going to play Kennard at the forward because I like to backload my lineups where the 10 p.m. games are going to be in the more flexible positions, right? And then on the Memphis side, Xavier Tillman just walks into another dream matchup here. No Serge Ibaka again. Yes, okay, he's going up against Zubac, but if he could drop 15 and 15 against Nikola Jokic, I'm pretty sure he's going to go out there and do the exact same thing against the likes of Ibaka, Zubac. So for 4,200, Xavier Tillman's really high on my radar right now. Outside of that, no real interest in this Memphis size. I get it. There's some big bodies out there that can dominate down low, but I'd rather take the shifty guy in Xavier Tillman that's going to play down low versus Zubac. And then at the guard spot, primary ball handlers versus LA is definitely a thing. Not when they're playing Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard and players on 10-day contracts and a bunch of other guys, right? So I'm not playing Ja in the spot. It's a great spot for him, but I'm not playing him because how depleted the Clippers roster is right now.
All right, so last game, I know at least last one that you wanted to really highlight, Minnesota and Sacramento. And look, I mean, you have been clearly highlighting these plays, and we're getting to a lineup that's looking pretty good here. So what are you looking for in this game? Is this another one value, or is Karl Anthony Towns? You know, we talked about the 3 stars, Curry, Beal, and Westbrook. I don't know is there room for Towns, or probably not in this one. This is another game where you're probably looking at some scrubs here.
Yeah, exactly. So this is another spot where we could grab some value, and it doesn't have to be all the way down on the pricing grid, but I'm looking at Anthony Edwards here. So Towns on the second half of a back-to-back. Number one, we don't even know if he's going to play. So if you do end up playing Towns tonight and he does end up playing a full 36, you're at a serious advantage over the field because there's no pivots. It's the last game on the slate, right? So this is where people are not going to want to spend 10.6 on Karl Anthony Towns without knowing for a fact that he's playing or not. And knowing that it's a 10 p.m. Eastern time game, I don't think we're going to get that news 3 hours before lock. let alone even an hour before it locks. So it's a spot where we don't know if Towns is playing, but we do know that the number one pick in this year's draft, Anthony Edwards, is playing, right? So this is a spot where if we pull up the 10-game log that he's been doing, just to reinforce my point, I'm just going to show everybody what I'm looking at here. If you look at the amount of three-pointers that he's taking, 12, 11, 6, 11, and 11, and even if we go further back, he's just launching from deep. And that's not even his game, right? So coming out of Georgia, he's a slasher. You know, he's somebody that gets to the hoop with ease. And you saw him absolutely baptize Utah Watanabe out there in Toronto, right? So that's like, it's probably the dunk of the season. So that's the type of game that Anthony Edwards plays. But when he's taking this many threes against a team that's dead last in defensive rating and dead last in three-point percentage and bottom 5 in three-pointers made, the upside is there for him to absolutely take over this game, right? So is he going to play 38 minutes again? I mean, yeah, probably. Ricky Rubio he's getting old. D'Angelo Russell, he's coming back. And if you don't have news based on D'Angelo Russell, similarly what we did yesterday we got the news. Hey, he's not on a minutes limit. He's going to go out there and we're trying to get him back to the starting lineup. That's great. The two of them will coincide well together. So when that day comes, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, D'Angelo Russell is still coming off the bench, whether it's 25 minutes or 30. I'm looking at this game purely as a back-to-back. Anthony Edwards is the one and only guy that is safe that's going to get 35 minutes in this spot, and all the metrics line up for him to absolutely crush this one. Sacramento last in defensive rating, bottom 5 in three-pointers made, and last in three-point percentage made as well. So the Ant-Man, if you're looking at, and then you're going to tell me, where exactly do we slot him into this lineup, right? Clearly, we don't have enough left. It would be exactly what you did just there, right? So if you're not confident in Bradley Beal and Kyrie Irving, or, you know what, let me rephrase that in the sense that you don't want to play one of those guys because you're not confident in the amount of scrubs that you have in your lineup, that's where you could come off Bradley Beal, you slide in Anthony Edwards, and then all of a sudden you have the $5,000 range where you're playing guys that are a lot safer, the Terrence Manns, the guys that we've been speaking about.
Yep.
That's where you can end up upgrading your scrubs, the O'Shea Brissetts, the Edmund Summers, any one of those guys. You don't have to play those guys now, and you could go pivot to somebody like Terrence Mann, for example, the DeLon Wrights in this very same game at 4,100. De'Aaron Fox is hurt. He's going to play in this one, but he's hurt, right? So DeLon Wright at 4,100, something like that. That's where, depending on what kind of contest you're playing, you don't necessarily need to pay 94, 99, 10 plus for the Kyrie Irvings, the Bradley Beals, the Julius Randles, any one of these guys as your third stud. You could grab Anthony Edwards, and then at that point, you're upgrading all your scrubs to these 4 to 5K players.
Yeah, and I think now, you know, we look at, and the 3 games, I'm highlighting the 3 games at least the teams that you are looking at. And so this is kind of what we're doing and looking at here with that 5K, 6K range. So, yeah, you're right. If Anthony Edwards, and dude, shooting at a clip like that, it's not even that he's shooting double digits per game. It's that he's making it at close to a 40% clip most of the time. You know, it's
that's it exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
When you combine volume with half decent efficiency, look, is he going to pull a Steph Curry and go 10 for 16 from deep tonight? No, absolutely not. But when he's taking 12 shots from deep and he's actually making 4, 5, 6 at a time, and he's shooting close to 50%, I'm going to take those chances on a guy that can also slash to the hoop. Like, if his shot is not dropping, it's not like, oh my gosh, Anthony Edwards is not going to score tonight. He could abandon his shot and just start slashing to the hoop against the Sacramento team that ranks dead last in points allowed in the paint, right? So no Rashawn Holmes on the other side. Either way, he's going to be able to get buckets tonight. So I really like that, and I will give it as a free pick, as a bet. One of the 6 that are there. So I'm not going to give any of the 5 that are in the Washington Golden State game. You got to come windailysports.com and check those out. But one of the 6 that I'm on, Anthony Edwards, over 2.5 3-pointers made plus money on both FanDuel and DraftKings Sportsbooks tonight. So I do like that. Same matchup yesterday. I bet it yesterday. I'm double dipping the chip. Again, I'm double dipping the chip with DFS and sports betting in that Washington Golden State game. And I'm double dipping the chip again here tonight, Anthony Edwards. I bet this yesterday, over 2.5 at plus money. He made 5 of them. There's absolutely no reason for me to go right back to the well. It's the exact same matchup. And on top of that, Towns might not play. Over 2.5 threes at plus money, Anthony Edwards.
Hey, NBA DFS Preview Show, first-time caller, long-time listener, Jon Jansen from South Philly. I have a lineup for you. Here it is. What do you think?
I love it. This is so. If we do it quickly, we're talking about Curry Westbrook is the heart and soul of that lineup, right? So that there's no way I'm not starting a lineup with Curry and Westbrook tonight. Then you have Anthony Edwards as your third guy. So that means that you shouldn't have the Edmund Summers, the O'Shea Brissetts, and that's exactly what we don't have in our lineup. There's no concern here. Terrence Mann is going to get the start for the Clippers at point guard combined with Luke Kennard. Both these guys are going to take 20 shots tonight. Way too underpriced. DeLon Wright's played 3 straight games over 25 minutes with De'Aaron Fox fully healthy. Now he's got a bummed ankle, and he's still at 4,100, and 3 games in a row he's put up over 30 DraftKings points. I love it. Xavier Tillman, we spoke about Xavier Tillman, how he's going to cake down low. No Jonas Valanciunas on the Memphis side, coming off a game where he dropped 18 and 14 on Nikola Jokic. He'll be just fine against Ivica Zubac. And then you're taking Jeff Green over Blake Griffin because, well, Blake Griffin's old. And his knees are probably sore, and he's playing on a back-to-back. Guy's old. So
you didn't have to be blunt about it, all right?
This is not a Blake Griffin game. We're taking Jeff Green in that Brooklyn lineup for some value for not going. And then on top of that, just the added sauce is that you don't have Kyrie in this lineup, but you do have a share of that Brooklyn game where there's going to be a ton of scoring. So I love it.
All right, so let's go to some other lineups that people have here. Curry, Kyrie, Kennard, Brissett, Looney, Westy, Mikhail Bridges. We didn't talk about him. And Yogi Farrell. What do you think about that one? I think the one that's interesting that we didn't talk about because I didn't go over that game is Bridges.
So I would come off Bridges and go to another.
You're not going to do the Philly narrative here, the welcome home for Mikhail Bridges.
God, I have to, and I also have to talk about the Devin Booker.
He's from Chester County too, man. You can't forget the hometown kid.
It is, but it wasn't even. See, like this is why I was pumped. So that's not even the narrative. Okay, remind me before the end of the show. We got to end the show with that because it's really funny.
Wait,
it's really funny why I want to play. It's really funny why I'm going to have Devin Booker in at least one lineup tonight. So we have to mention that.
Oh,
so,
is it well, Ben Simmons? I don't know. He's probably not playing tonight, is he?
I don't know if he's playing. I really hope he's not because I absolutely.
What are you gonna do? I thought you were gonna
Phoenix
do the
minus 3.5. That's exactly what I was gonna talk about. That's exactly what I was gonna talk about. So we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Anyways, Mikhail Bridges. The one thing that prevents me from playing him in the lineup tonight is because I don't know how competitive that game is gonna be because all 4 guys could play. Knock on wood. I really hope they don't because I absolutely slammed Phoenix minus 3.5. Or you have Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, possibly all sitting out because they have a really big game tomorrow against Milwaukee. So this is a game where rather than Embiid sitting out the second half of a back-to-back, they might rest guys on the front end.
Right.
Because that game tomorrow it could be an Eastern Conference Finals preview, right? So they're going to want to win that game tomorrow. That's the only reason why I'm not touching that game outside of betting Phoenix 3.5, and that's honestly it's a little bit of a prayer because if all these guys are in, I'm still confident in it, but it's going to be a nail biter. So I would come off Mikhail Bridges and upgrade at center. You could grab Tillman at 4,200, or you could grab Daniel Gafford at 3,900 as well. Or you could keep this lineup. If you have $100 left, you could just go from Looney to Gafford. I know Looney's popping. It's just I don't know the way that Steve Kerr is going to run his rotation tonight. He can easily run Draymond Green at the 5 and play Kelly Oubre with Andrew Wiggins with Steph Curry, right? So it's the only thing that worries me about Kevon Looney thing.
All right, next one: Steph, Beal, Kennard, O'Shea, Zubac, Kyrie, Tillman, and Yogi.
Switch Zubac and Tillman and get a $5,000 forward in there. I'm pretty sure there's somebody that we just had up on the screen before. So
yeah. Awesome. Love it. Oh man, we broke that down. All right. So you were what's the Booker narrative? It's the Kendall Jenner thing, isn't it?
That's it exactly, right? So Ben Simmons used to date Kendall Jenner. She used to go to all the games. Everyone knew about that, right? So it's you can't have a celebrity relationship without it being paparazzi and all the media, right? So she was always at the games, courtside a lot of times. And then now she's dating Booker, who she also goes to the games, but kind of tries to go incognito and whatnot, but obviously everybody spots her because that's just the nature of the paparazzi. And Book always goes off against Philly all the time, every single time. He has dropped 30 or more points against Philadelphia in 6 straight games. And this goes back because obviously they're in interconference there, so it's they don't exactly play a ton against each other, but 30 plus every single time against Philly, and he has mad beef with Ben Simmons. So if you want to ride that one out, $8,600 Devin Booker, Just for fun. Like we're talking about Kelly Olynyk the other night.
He's probably going to go.
He actually went off. Kelly Olynyk actually went off that game too on his birthday against his former team in Miami. So that was a fun one. And these narratives pan out. It's not only fun, but on top of that, when the guy goes off, it's profitable too. So eat it up. Make at least one lineup with him.
Anything you do is profitable right now, by the way. WinDailySports.com. Check out his betting picks. Also, check out Ghost Jim's article, WinDailySports.com, along with everything else.
It's free today, too. Free.
Yeah, it's free. Hey, free. And also Major League Baseball stuff. Golf tournament starts tomorrow. We got it all here, WinDailySports.com. But also join the chat. That's where I'm sure Ghost is going to be hanging out with you, getting all of your plays. Ghost, well done, man. I enjoyed my time. That's it for the NBA DFS Preview Show. We'll be back tomorrow. WinDailySports.com.
Happy Wet Wednesday.
Happy Wet Wednesday.